This right here is my 1985 Ford Bronco XLT that we got from the original owner. Last week, my sons and I were driving down to Key Largo to go pick this up. The original owner bought it brand new in 1985 from the Ford dealer, and this was his baby. I mean, down to the pads on the dashboard, the seat covers in the rear. This is something that he took really, really good care of. Now, it has been repainted, and it is a little crusty underneath. The headers were really rough. The exhaust is wiped out. The starter had gone. But underneath the hood, he had an engine cover over the hood, which kept everything in excellent shape. Now in today's video, we're gonna try to get this thing running. Now it did need a starter, and like I had mentioned, the headers were in rough shape. We've already gone underneath this car and replaced, let's climb under here, the headers on both sides, as well as the starter right there. Now the starter was behind the header, which is why we removed the headers, and I had new ones to replace it. We'll do an exhaust back later on. You can see how rotted it is back there to the mufflers. So we're gonna do all that, as well as brake lines, and we're gonna clean up the undercarriage and do a suspension at some point. Today's video, we gotta get this thing running. So we're gonna check the plugs, we're gonna put some mystery oil on the cylinders, and a new battery, and see if we can get this thing to fire over. Now, first things first, this has been sitting for a while. You guys, if you've been watching for a while, you've seen my son Logan in our videos. Logan, I am gonna have you pull the spark plugs today. I'm gonna replace those. We're also gonna put some mystery oil in the cylinders. So what happens is the engine has oil in it. The oil keeps everything lubricated, okay? Just like blood in your veins. When you're not using the engine, the oil drains to the pan. So right now, everything in your valve cover, in your head, all that oil is probably down at the bottom of the oil pan. So if we just cold crank it, fire it up cold, there's nothing lubricating those rings on the pistons. So if we put some mystery oil in each of those spark plug holes, it'll lubricate the top of the cylinders. That way when we do crank it, it'll turn easier and should fire right up and lubricate everything. So that's what we're gonna do today. So the first thing I'd like to do is pull out at least one of those spark plugs and see how easy they come out. We have our toolkit right here. Okay, so we wanna take out one spark plug. We'll take out the first one. So take each of these 3 spark plug sockets, and the difference between these and regular sockets is they have rubber boots on the inside of these. Okay, so the rubber boot sticks to the spark plug. That way when you pull the plug out or pull the socket out, the plug stays with it. Try one of these at a time on the spark plug and see which one fits. Now the car hasn't run, so nothing should be hot. Be careful, you don't want to touch anything if the car has been running. This obviously way, right? The engine will be hot. Yep, slide it right on. That's probably too small.
Oh, no, it's not.
Okay, here you go, try that one. And prepare to drop many bolts. It's the wrong side.
Fits.
Twist it. Okay, let me in there real quick. So I'm gonna take the extension, put it on the socket. It feels like it's too big. So I'm gonna stick this on here. Go right on the plug, and there we go. Now, or I can use my wrench to free it up. See how I just freed that up right there? So now I'm just gonna pull this out by hand, and we're gonna look at the plugs. We need new plugs? Yeah, let's get new plugs. See how brown they are? They don't smell like oil or gas, but they're they look old. So we're gonna get 8 new plugs, all right? So what I'd like you to do, I'm gonna take this plug. I'd like you to take this. You don't actually need this extension. So if you just take out, I think we can do it together actually. I got the plug socket on right there. Grab the wrench and just take them all out, okay? So climb up here, take this wrench, free it up. Down would be lefty, loosey. Turn it over because you're probably touching the header, right? So flip the wrench over. Yeah, that'll work actually too. Turn it side, turn it around. Turn around. And just push it down. Watch your knuckles. See how quickly that happens? Yeah. You can bust your knuckles pretty fast. So go ahead and pull that out by hand. I'll take the plug, and we're going to do that to 6 more. So go ahead, all the others. Watch your knuckles.
That's what I'm scared of now.
Sounded like it loosened, right?
No.
Here, use this. Put it all the way in there. Other way. Again, watch your knuckles. There you go. Free them all up. Is there not one in that cylinder? Oh, it's broken. The tip is broken off. Glad we're doing spark plugs. So go into that next one.
How do you even?
Go right on over it. The tip must have broken off when the headers were done. Maybe that's why. Watch your knuckles.
Here, I might need to do this one.
Now watch this. Switch it. What was that word I used?
Leverage.
Leverage.
What's this?
Leverage.
So let's see if leverage can get it off, okay? Easy. Done. Oh, both the tips are broken off of those. Now if I pull this off, these should all just come out. 2. So 8 plugs. We're gonna get new plugs for it. Come back, throw some mystery oil in it, and then the plugs on, and we're good. I need a break from working on this for a minute. So I did just get back from England. If you've been following along with my stories, I was in the UK for a few weeks with my son. He was doing some soccer trials over in the UK, and he was asking for money left and right, and I wasn't always with him, so it was easy for me to transfer money to him thanks to Cash App. So what's great about Cash App is anyone over 13 plus can have one, and the best part, I get an alert every time he uses the Cash App card. So if he's in England swiping that card, I get an alert. My friends gave his kids pounds, and it was a cashless restaurant, so I was sending money to my son so he could swipe his Cash App card for my friends' kids too to buy them lunch. There's no monthly fees, no minimum balance requirements, and no hidden charges when sending or receiving any type of money. With the Cash App card, you and your teen's balances receive 24/7 fraud monitoring, and if something ever feels off, you have the ability to lock their card right from the phone in one tap. You can download the Cash App app and get started today, or scan the QR code right in the corner. To get a bonus, download Cash App and use our exclusive referral code CASH10 in your profile. Send someone $5 within 14 days of signing up. After you send the $5, you'll get $10 dropped right into your account. Terms do apply. That's real money. That's Cash App. Now, if you don't mind, it is crazy hot in this Bronco, so let's get back to work. First things first, I'm not about to just dump this into the cylinder. So I got ourselves a pump that doesn't fit into this, and I'm going to pump it. Watch, see the red? I'm gonna pump that into every cylinder and hope I don't spill. So I'm gonna go into that cylinder right there, and I'm just gonna pump it in. That's good. Okay, that's in one cylinder, so it's gonna sit on the top. And on this one. Do you remember what I said this is? What it's called?
No, I forgot.
Dude, teach me. It's called a spark plug gapper.
Okay.
So spark plug is 0.070 on the motorcraft plugs, okay? The gap on this was 0.03. So if we check right there, you can put the spark plug right there through your gapper, and it's 0.3. That's what it was on the old plug. Let's check the other ones.
What is wrong with Champion?
It's not like motorcraft is meant for Ford, NGK in a Honda, AC Delco in a Chevy. 0.35. So it seems like all of these are about 0.35. That's what they were gapped at. Yeah, 0.35. So
New ones need to be at 0.3.
let's double check these. Don't ever drop these on the ground, all right?
New ones, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that shield's for?
No, not at all. So we're gonna do these, 0.4, okay? So we'll make sure they're all around 0.4. And what I'd like you to do after I hand it to you, this is anti-seize, all right? We don't want the plug to get stuck in the hole, okay? So we just put a little bit like that, and then we run a line, just one small line, okay? You don't have to do the whole thing.
What does this do?
Just one strip of this, just like that, along the side. That's anti-seize, so this doesn't get stuck in there 10 years from now, okay? So I'm gonna give you this. You go over here. I'll switch sides with you. I'm gonna gap every spark plug, and then you just do one small strip of anti-seize on every plug. Oh, what did I tell you?
Don't
I said
drop
you don't
it.
do what?
Do not drop it. Better you than me.
Definitely better, that's what I always say.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's more than you need, but yes. Here's another one. So check that gap. Oh wait, I never gapped it. So because I dropped it, I'm gonna check. I need 4. There we go. So I'm gonna do 4 for now, and then we'll go to the other side after these are all installed, okay? 0.4, perfect. There's that. Okay, I'm gonna reverse the process and just screw these in, and that anti-seize right there will go around the entire thread as I screw it in. You gap these and anti-seize these for the other bank. Do you know what a bank is?
Yeah, the other side of
The other side of the engine, exactly. So I'm just gonna hand tighten all of the spark plugs first before I over tighten them later.
0.04.
Yeah, now the plugs are all hand tight, and I'm just gonna give them one quick, not over tighten, one quick turn, my wrench, make sure they're in. I don't wanna over tighten them. There we go, good. Bank 2 is done.
A few minutes later.
This one was a little over 0.40.
So you need to make it smaller?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna take this, just press it there, and then recheck it. And now we're at 0.3, so it's too much. So we're just gonna gap it till we're at 0.4. There we go, right there, 0.4. And that's it today, just plugs. That's all we're gonna do. Plugs and mystery oil, headers and starters done. We'll let the mystery oil settle, drain down in between the rings. Come back tomorrow and see if we can fire this puppy up.
The next day.
All right, it's a new day. I just moved the trailer back in place because I'm heading up to England. But before we go, we are gonna do some work to this. I wanna get it running. And I just removed that bull bar. Look at how much better this front end looks. I probably should have taken a picture. Actually, I'll insert a picture right here. It looks so much better without that bully bar on the front. Here's what it looks like now. And it actually wasn't that much work. It was removed from these bolts and a couple underneath. So much better looking now. Now, I'm gonna go grab my son and we're gonna do the starter solenoid and see if we can get this thing running. But before we do that, I wanna show you this bull bar, whatever you, cow pusher, whatever you call it. So that's what it looks like now. So much better. I'm gonna insert a picture of it before and after. This is the bull bar. I am also changing the bumpers out of my truck. So this thing weighs, oh my because it weighs a ton. So much weight reduction off the front of that Bronco. Now that has a plow package because he wanted the heavy duty suspension. Obviously he's not plowing in the Keys. He's owned it since 1985, living in the Keys. He wanted the 2 batteries and the heavy duty suspension. That's basically as heavy as a plow. I'll show you me trying to lift it in just a minute. And while we're at it, the previous owner painted this whole truck, my Ram, and they did not do a great job. Tried to paint over the chrome. You can't paint over chrome. So the bumpers look terrible over time. So I just replaced this with a chrome bumper. That's the old bumper, painted over chrome, and this is what happens. Somebody painted it flat black originally, so I primed over it and then painted it, but still it chips off the chrome, so we're gonna go chrome on the rear too. So old front bumper, new front bumper. I would have rather painted, but whatever. And then we'll do the grill and rear bumper. Watch how heavy this thing is. He made this himself. Said it's been on there since the 80s. It is solid steel. It feels like cast iron, it's so heavy. But it was bolted in down there and here. And then that's it. That's how it was mounted. And it's held up all these years, and it weighs, it's gotta be 300 pounds. Look at, he even put headlight holders for like some, what do they call them? PIAA, or what were those headlights called in the 80s that everybody had, like in Back to the Future? And then tow hooks. This thing is pretty durable and rugged. All right, let's get it in the truck now. How am I gonna do this? Why do I do all the CrossFit if I can't even lift a bully bar? All right, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Now we'll do the front bumper, taking it to the metal yard with some batteries and old parts, and we'll be on our way. Shut this, and then once that's all in, I'll empty my truck bed and we're good to go. One more look at the Bronco without the bully bar. Yeah, so much better. All right, hopefully get this thing running soon. We have some fuel, we have new plugs, we have new headers, new starter solenoid. That's coming up, I think, in the next clip.
Several days later.
All right, today is the day that we get that Bronco running, that Lamborghini in this trailer, and I got a new camera, so let me see here. 1, 2, 3, flip my camera around. We learned to fix a flat. You're gonna learn how to fix a flat tire as well. So the Bronco is a priority. I think I can turn this camera around like that. We are going to get this thing running, and I'm feeling pretty confident about it. Number 1, there's no fuel in it. Number 2, I think we replaced the starter when all we actually needed to replace was the starter solenoid. So we're gonna do that too. And I think we're gonna hear this thing rumble straight out of the headers. It is gonna be a monster. So that's what we're doing today. Before we get into that, let's go over to the trailer and learn how to fix a flat. So I ran over a nail recently. Logan, back seat, driver's side, there's a couple screwdrivers and some pliers. Go grab them for me. First thing we're going to do, and this is the stuff I love about this channel, is how-to videos. How we started this channel is with how-to videos. Let me see here. Oh, there's the nail right there. It is a Phillips, so we're gonna pull that nail out right there. So Logan, typically I would have driven ahead while you looked at the tire until we found the nail, but we were able to find it right here. So I'm just gonna pull that nail out. Oh no. Maybe I won't be pulling that nail out like this. Let's see if I can pull it with the pliers. And we're gonna lose all the air pressure. You can also drain the tire and get all the air out of the tire from the valve. If I can just angle this out enough, I can then, ow, there we go. That's what I ran over right there. So we're gonna let the air out and then we're gonna plug it. So just to do it a little bit quicker, we pull the cap off and I just hold right here and let all the air out.
Do you always have a kit like this in your car?
And that would absolutely be helpful to have in your car. All right, hold this from over here real quick. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take this perforated, I don't know what you call this tool, but see how it's sharp and edged on the sides? I'm gonna find the hole and we're just gonna make a clean, solid hole. So I think it was right here. Come in here real quick. That was the hole right there. So we're gonna stick this in. I can kind of twist it in and I'm gonna make the hole the appropriate size. So now that that tool's in, just the twisted braided side of that tool will help you screw it in, so you can screw it into the hole and then make a larger hole to fit the kit. So put pressure and spin at the same time like you're screwing a screwdriver, righty-tighty, and that should slowly pull itself into the tire, creating a large enough hole to fit these plugs in. Now that it's started, just sit down on your butt. Now it would obviously be easier if the wheel was off. Sometimes you're stuck on the side of the road, and this is how you're gonna do it. So keep twisting, pull it in and out, try to create that hole as like a very specific size of that tool. So you're just gonna pull it in and out. And although it's weird that we're making a bigger hole, it's for a reason. And now pull it out, just yank it out. Yeah, watch your hands. There you go, now do it one more time. Jam it in there, go kind of diagonal.
Hold on, I gotta make sure.
Should be able to twist in and then yank it out. Just pull it out. If you can just pull it out, then you know we have the right size. There we go, perfect. Next step. All right, this is the plug bond. So this is basically like the sealant. So I'm just gonna put a little sealant in the hole. That tip fit right in the hole. Now, I'm gonna take the second tool. You'll see it's pointy. And I'm gonna take one tire plug. Now this tire plug, I'm gonna put in to this tool. See how it comes right out there? I'm gonna pull it halfway through. Halfway through, okay? Now, when I stick it in, it's gonna go in like this, okay? It's gonna go in this way. See how there's a slot? When I pull this tool out, it's gonna leave the plug in the tire hole. So, I'm gonna stick this in the tire hole right here. Apply a good amount of pressure to get it in there. Okay, we're in. All right, we're in. And now when I pull this out, it's gonna leave the plug, okay? That's your plug. Got it? Now, I'm gonna use the sealant again, all around the plug. Take my cutters, one. Here we go. Now see how this is protruding right there? It's okay, as you drive, the road will wear this down. So that's all we want. We're good. I'm gonna let this dry before we put any air in it, and then we're done. We filled our hole. All right, back to the Bronco. We got the new starter in, we got the new headers in, new plugs in, Marvel Mystery Oil in the cylinders, and a bunch of other work. But when we went to crank it, it was just clicking. So I'm gonna show you what to do if your starter's still just clicking. And also, we didn't realize that this thing is out of fuel. So first thing we're gonna do, Logan, if you don't mind, put some super in it, which is premium, low ethanol, high octane fuel. I couldn't find any no ethanol, so we went with the super premium just to kind of put a couple gallons in, R90 only. Oh my goodness, look, it even has a lock on the gas cap. So he had his lock key for the fuel cap, which was nice. Logan, what did you just ask me?
Why the heck does he need a cap?
Well, a few reasons. Number one, people can steal your fuel. So when fuel is $4 plus a gallon, people will siphon your fuel out. Number two, people will put sugar in your gas tank like Kingpin.
Someone put sugar in your tank.
Sugar? That's impossible.
Here, sugar. Maybe the bad kids around here.
So if they're unhappy with you, they'll just dump some sardines, that's a joke from a movie, or sugar in your gas tank and then ruin your car. Putting a lock on it eliminates that problem. Now go ahead and put the super fuel in it and let's see what happens. Nope. Let's put the gas cap on better. Back when these trucks came out, you didn't need all these fancy schmancy US government gas cans. Everything was metal and easy pour. Nowadays, everything is Loctite and difficult to use. You gotta push this down. See that lock right there? So put that lock right on this lip and push it down. Yep. So right on the front of it. Now get that in there and push it down. And look, that's not even long enough to get into the gas door. All right, you're good. Fill that up with that. Now, we have a new starter, we have fuel, we have a new battery. What happens when I put the key in? Hear the click? Trace that click. We'll find out where it's clicking.
I think I found it right here.
Spot on. So this right here is your starter solenoid, okay? You go from battery to this jumper to your starter, okay? So this is basically like the relay that conducts all the power and allows the power to move, okay? So this is the issue. Now watch this. Take this. Don't touch the metal on the end. And all I want you to do is go this way and touch that with that together. Hang on. Hang on.
Touch what with what?
Let me just pump the gas a couple times in the carburetor. So I'm gonna give it like 5 pumps of fuel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe we'll do 6, 7. And I'm gonna leave the ignition on. So we get the ignition on right now. I pumped the carburetor, so there's fuel in the carburetor. All I want you to do, don't touch the tip of the screwdriver, okay? Just the plastic part, and just touch these two pieces together, just to click. Go ahead. All right, let me try, hold this.
That's not funny.
So we're jumping the starter right now, okay? I'm gonna get this out. I need to get that out of the way. We're gonna jump the starter, ready? It should crank. All right, I'm gonna do this again. You pump it, all right?
Pedal?
Yeah, so pump the pedal a few times while I'm doing this, okay? When you hear it start pumping. You can see the carburetor move. All right, no more pumping. So we're getting it to turn, but I don't know if we're getting it to fire. I can smell fuel in here. Now it's either one, no fuel pressure because there's so much going on here. Oh, look at that, hang on. That's fuel coming from this. Is this a fuel filter? Yeah, that's a fuel water separator right there. So instead of just having like something simple, a fuel line to the carburetor, we have fuel water separator, we have a pressure valve, we have braided hoses that are leaking. There's a lot more to this truck than just a stock V8. I would so much rather this just be a stock V8. Shoot, I don't know if we're getting any fuel. So let's take the air cover off and see if we're getting any fuel when we pump it. The air cleaner's off. There's your carburetor. So Logan, pump it a couple times. I don't see any fuel squirting. Okay, that's good, thank you. No fuel is squirting out of those jets right there. So that's not good either. Well, not as simple as we thought. There is no fuel pressure. And instead of just having stock fuel lines, we have a fuel line there, to a pressure regulator, to a fuel line, to a water separator to the fuel tank. And I don't even know if it goes to the fuel tank. I'm gonna have to follow that line down there to right there, maybe down there, and then I have to follow it to the tank, make sure there's fuel. There is fuel. Make sure the line goes to the fuel tank. So there's a lot going on here. In the meantime, we're going to replace that starter solenoid, and we're going to do that by disconnecting the negative terminal first, and then we will remove that and swap one wire at a time to make sure everything is appropriate the way it's lined up. Did I say that right? I want to make sure I'm going to go one wire at a time from that one to the new one so we don't mess anything up. So I can see the fuel line leaking right there. So we have all kinds of fuel leaks from these connectors. If we just did a single fuel line from here to the carburetor, we'd be so much better off. So I'm going to have to do that. Now I'm going to remove the water separator, I'm going to remove the pressure valve, and just go fuel line to carburetor. But the good thing is having fuel here means that we have fuel coming from the tank to here, and then we're going to just replace these lines. So life lesson, Logan was using some metric sockets to try to remove that solenoid, and nowadays most stuff is made in Asia and Europe, so even our American cars use the metric system in a lot of parts, but this car is American made, all American. So it is a standard system of measurement. So this is most likely a 5/16. So if we put the 5/16 right there, boom, there we go, 5/16. This is all standard measurements. And while Logan does that, I'm gonna put the Gallardo in the trailer. And yes, it is still not fixed. It is sticky to the touch. It still leaves fingerprints. This, I ruined my taillight from the reducer because obviously this is made out of silicone and oils, the plastic is. So when I use reducer, it ruined my taillight, and the paint is still sticky tacky from one of my other videos. I'm so bummed about it that I got discouraged, lost motivation, and it's been sitting in my trailer. I am going to England with Logan. He's going to play soccer for some trials, which is kind of neat. And when I get back, then I'll get to work on this car and start removing that nasty gummy bear glue. Let's start this baby up. Oh my goodness, this car is amazing. It sounds so good. I love this car. Look at this, what a mess this car is now. I can't even take it to a car show, all the scratches and swirl marks. That's the original paint. This is the clear coat product that I used that's all scratched up now. It took so much work to just get to that point. I don't even know, I'm gonna send it off to somebody. Logan got the new solenoid on and the old one off, and we're just gonna change everything over. So go positive to positive. So we're gonna take the positive, which is the red, down here and put it on here. So, can you see real quick? Oh, hang on. Take this positive off, which I think is on a nut. So this one, oh god, it's got so much going on in this car. I really just want to try a positive and negative instead of doing all this extra wiring he has on here. So let's just remove the positive and negative and see if we get the car to turn over. All right, everything's connected, positive, negative, but the battery terminal's not on. So let's see if he remembers. Logan, crank it up. Anything? What was the first step we did? Remember? Just for safety reasons, disconnected the battery. So the battery's still disconnected. The solenoid's replaced. The negative terminal's still disconnected. So we're gonna put this on because if that flames or sparks, we want it to stay inside. We don't want it to blow up. So we're gonna leave that there, this here, and we're gonna put the negative terminal on. I just wanna see if it cranks. All right, go ahead, crank it. What? Unfortunately, I'm thinking we got ourselves into a can of worms. It wasn't the relay, it wasn't the solenoid, it wasn't the starter. There's wiring everywhere. So we have a water separator, we have a fuel pressure gauge, and then going over to here, we have this FixR platform, whatever FixR is. And then if I go over here by Logan, what does this do right here? This is like a battery transfer surge protector. There's wiring everywhere to this truck. So I thought I was buying an original Bronco, and it's just been tinkered with all over the place. It's leaking fuel from the bottom. We're not getting any fuel pressure. I don't know if we have spark now. It's way more work than we had imagined, and I can't do it in a gosh darn parking lot in the Florida sun. So unfortunately, I mean, we did all the basic mechanicals ourselves: header, starter, plugs, wires, fuel. It's more in depth than that, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to remove it from here and bring it to have somebody else turn it into their project, which stinks. I could bring it to Project Lift, I guess, in August and go through it with them, but this is going to be a long-term project now, unfortunately. I was thinking like, hey, get it running. Look at even back there, this giant subwoofer that's wired in the back. Oh my goodness, this thing's been played with so many times. It is original and it's been cared for, but it's been played with a lot. We have a project on our hands, so on the next some point we'll get some things running and update you from there. I don't want any more projects. I thought I was just going to get into a starter and clean it and sell it. This is way more than that. Darn it, I don't need more projects. Oh, shoot. Even behind the solenoid, there's this like Superpower Industries multi-battery isolator, and then there's this Napa something here. There's just wiring everywhere. The truck probably ran beautifully and things were tinkered with, unfortunately, and none of those things are necessary. They're cool accessories, I guess, but they're extras that aren't necessary. Welcome back. I couldn't leave this video open-ended. I gotta get this thing running. So we're not gonna end the video just yet. We're gonna see if we can get this thing running. I'm gonna test for spark, and then I'm gonna test for fuel. And I got a new solenoid, so I'm gonna show you what I mean by that. We're gonna change the solenoid out. So first of all, this is the solenoid, the starter solenoid that AutoZone gave me based on the part number I gave them. So it's 492G. This is the starter solenoid that came out of the vehicle. It is very different. Those are two different parts. So this is the one that came out of this truck. This is the one they gave me. Now, although it has positives and negatives and spots for all the cables, it is a different relay, which is why it was still clicking, I'm hoping. So I went back to AutoZone and I matched that part right there with another one that has the exact same part number, 492, and all the difference is 492G means gold. So this is a gold version, this is their standard version, both the same part number. However, when I took this out of the box, this matches the one that came out of this car. So we're going to replace that with this right here and hope it doesn't just click. That's step one, so let's get going on this. And actually, looking at the two, you can just see it's the same solenoid, same height, everything's the same spots for the holes, but this is significantly faded and brown. This is glossy black, so this is old. All right, side mount bolts are out right now, so I'll just remove that. Obviously, the negative terminal is removed, otherwise we would get some good shocks. I'm gonna put this right there, pull this off here, and now I can transfer all the connections over to the new solenoid. And because this one was different than the one I just took off, which is this right here, I didn't remember which was positive, which was negative, so I actually found the original video from the scene before, and I screenshotted it. I'll insert it right here to figure out that the positive was bottom, negative was on top. So I'm just gonna reverse everything right now, and then we'll try to start it. I believe we have everything connected. Let's see if it cranks. All right, let's connect the negative terminal again and see what happens. I'm starting to lose hope with this whole car, so I don't really know, nothing. I got no power, zero power now. So at least with the old solenoid, I actually had power. This one, I got nothing, no accessory or anything. What the heck, man? Okay, looks like we have lights on the starter button. So if I take the key out, that stays on though. I don't like that. We are in park, nothing, no clicking, nothing. Nothing. Come on, man. Found an issue, which I think is operator error. I don't think it was AutoZone's fault. I think it was completely my fault. So if I turn this key, we should hear it start. We have power. Power, power, power. Let's see. I'll show you what was wrong in a minute. Now, I don't think we have fuel still, but we have it cranking. Let's see, fire it off. Oh my goodness. I want to show you what I did wrong, and then we're going to try to get it running. Okay, so I see fuel leaking from right here. So that's leaking. That's not good. Number one, the end of video number one, I rolled this thing backwards in neutral. I never put it back in park. So I got in it, noticed it was in drive. That's why we got no click from the starter solenoid. Placed it to the new starter, and this is what I found out. Connecting all of these additional cables to the negative terminal, and I was connecting that blue one to the eye on the solenoid. So I had it all wrong, miswired, thinking this is a different starter than the original. So we kind of guessed on where everything was going, and that's what was going on. So now I'm gonna spray a little bit of starting fluid in the carburetor to see if we can get it fired up. And I also got myself a fire extinguisher, because if that is a spark arrestor. If that lights, that prevents the flame from coming up on a backfire. So look at, I can see the fuel leaking back there too. See it dripping? So all the fuel lines are leaking. So those need to be swapped out too. So let's just use a little bit of starter fluid. I got my fire extinguisher. I'm gonna crank it and see what happens. Actually, we even have some fuel leaking down here. So we gotta go through all of these fuel lines. Does mean the fuel pump is working. So we have fuel to this point. We're just not getting fuel to that point. Let's see what happens. Now it's getting dangerous. This thing is pouring fuel everywhere. There is gas all over the place. I can't start it like this. Well, that's it for this video. I have done all I can do in the parking lot of a storage facility. I'm gonna get this towed over to a garage that can replace the fuel lines. I at least made progress at the end of this video. We got it cranking. So we have a new starter, new headers, new plugs, Marvel Mystery Oil, new battery, and we got it to crank. Next is fuel lines and brake lines, and it should be drivable. Then we can do exhaust and just tinker with it from there. So the next video for the Bronco, we're gonna get to a garage and have them go through it. I can't do it here, but we made some progress. I hope you enjoyed this video. If it was educational, informative, and entertaining, any of that, thumbs ups are appreciated. I got to work with my son, so I'm having a blast. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all later. Adios.